Hey folks, today I thought I'd talk about how, with each passing week, it seems that our world is becoming stranger and more confusing. There are many ways in which this is the case, but for my first example, I'll take the relationship between teachers and the children they are tasked with educating, where once the boundaries and expectations between teacher and student were clearly defined, this is no longer how things are. I know for a fact, because I have several friends who work in education, that they often fear to do their jobs to the best of their abilities, because if they give the wrong kid a bad grade for substandard work, they have to worry about parents coming after them instead of doing the right thing and looking to the child and the state of their discipline and work ethic. In my view, this is largely the result of a generation of helicopter parents who've done everything they can to prevent their kids from experiencing any form of discomfort whatsoever. And now, whenever the slightest thing goes wrong, kids do not know how to handle it because they have not been equipped with the proper coping mechanisms to process failure in an appropriate manner. I'm certainly not trying to make the argument that there are no bad teachers working today. I know for a fact that there are. But in the South African context, for instance, the situation has devolved so severely that teachers are often under threat of physical violence from their students if they put a toe out of what the kids expect to receive. Teachers having to face the prospect of physical harm simply for daring to do their jobs is obviously unacceptable and definitely not conducive to learning. The other example I will use to illustrate just how topsy-turvy our world has become is the state of modern journalism, which saddens me because journalism is the field in which I began my professional life. While I will be the first to admit that there is plenty of evidence to suggest that journalism's moral compass has always been somewhat unreliable, it seems that we've now reached a point where the ethical standards of the industry are so low as to be absurd. News sources which were once reputable now publish headlines so sensational and reporting so ideologically biased that it is difficult to distinguish their material from satire. And if you're an honest newsman, that is a very sad state of affairs indeed. These days, in fact, one of the only ways to be certain of the details of any given story is to try to the best of your ability to track down and verify the events as they happened for yourself. Fortunately, with the advent of social media and the eagerness of public figures to make their opinions known, it is far easier to do this than it would have been in the past. Even still though, most people simply don't have the time to verify things for themselves because we're all too busy living our own lives. And the consequence is that we now exist in a state of perpetual narrative and half-truth. And so the question becomes, how can one live in such a world without going insane? Well, I think that the first step is to realize that the forces which shape our existence are far too big for any one person to control, so don't try. Instead, focus on the things that you can control, namely your behavior and how you choose to spend your time. Pursue activities which give your life a sense of meaning and purpose. Try to the best of your ability to help those around you whenever possible. And above all, do not surrender your ability to think for yourself, because once you let others decide your opinions for you, then all is truly lost. For now, farewell.